Shopping for shoes? I'll let you in on a few things you need to know before buying your first pair of climbing shoes. Hey, it's your girl Tiff B First, and this is the Bouldering for Beginners video series. In this series, I'm basically going to tell you everything that I wish I knew when I first started climbing, when I fell in love with bouldering. And so if there's anything that you want to know about if you're just getting into bouldering, let me know in the comments. But make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on the alerts so you know when I upload new videos, because there will be a lot more to come. But first, let's talk shoes. There are three types of climbing shoes: neutral, moderate, and aggressive. Now, I'm not going to get into when you should wear what type of shoe and what type of shoe is for what type of climbing and style and such and so forth. That will come. But I just want to let you know, if you're brand new to climbing, meaning you have never owned a pair of shoes, you maybe are a month or 2 or 3 into your climbing experience, and you're just looking to get started, stick with a neutral shoe. These are going to be flat, they're going to be the most comfortable and the best way to transition into wearing climbing shoes. Full disclosure, I spent around $150 on my first pair of shoes, and that was these Scarpa Force V's. They're a decent pair of shoe, and they're actually a good starter shoe, but just understand that when you first start climbing, you're still learning how to climb. So you're going to beat up those first pair of shoes. And also know, they will not be the only pair of shoes that you will own. So you do not want to break the bank on your first pair of climbing shoes. Keep it nice and affordable, anywhere between $50 to, I would say, at the most $100. The good thing is, if you stick with a neutral shoe, like I suggested in my first tip, those tend to be the most affordable shoes. Not always, but you can find a good affordable neutral shoe. Everyone on every climbing video, on every interweb, will tell you, try them on. And it's a great tip. It's very real. But I don't want you to have some sort of high expectations. I find when people tell you to try on climbing shoes, you don't know what a climbing shoe is supposed to feel like. And they will say, oh, it should be really tight. Your feet should be in there. Some folks will say tight, but not so tight that you can't move your toes around a little bit, or not so tight that it's painful. Honestly, they're going to hurt when you try them on. It is good to try them on, and I'll tell you why. You really want to get an idea of your shoe size, because your climbing shoe size and your street shoe size, while in some situations may be the same, aren't always. And then it depends on the brand of shoe. Scarpa may be different from 510 or from So Ill. It just depends on the shoe that you go with, or the brand. And once you kind of figure out your shoe size, you're not limited to what you see in a store. But I will tell you, try a shoe on in a store if you can. I know it can be hard. There's not a lot of climbing stores around the United States. Now, if you're in the United States, you likely are near an REI. And most of those do have the ability to climb, to try shoes on. But I find that their selection is very limited. So some alternative options is finding a climbing or outdoor specific store that may be a little bit family owned, smaller owned. I like Rock and Snow up in New Paltz as an option. Another option is try your climbing gym. A lot of climbing gyms will have a pro shop, and they'll have a nice wide selection. I know the Cliffs in Long Island City, New York has one of the biggest climbing shoe selections, and you can try the shoe on. You can hop on the wall, and I can tell you, trying the shoe on and getting on the wall, there's nothing like it. Because when you just put it on and walk around in the store, you really won't know how that shoe feels until you get on the wall. And if your gym does not have a pro shop, look out for demo days. A lot of shoe brands will do demos at different gyms. Obviously with COVID right now, that's not going on as much, but maybe one day when we return to normal, something like that will happen. And so those are really my tips. and things that I wish I knew when I first bought my first pair of shoes. You know, lower your expectations and don't spend a lot of money. And please, please, please try to stick to a nice, comfortable, neutral shoe. That will allow you to continue to fall in love with climbing and not hate it because your feet hurt so much. I hope these tips helped you out. And if you have any tips from when you bought your first pair of shoes, or if you want to share your first pair of climbing shoes, put it in the comments. Tell us why you like them. Why should we consider it? You can find me on Instagram at blackgirlsboulder. And don't forget, hit that subscribe button because more videos are to come. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time.